Right, afternoon, Group D economists. How is everybody? I hope you are all well and you enjoyed our last lesson looking at Jeremy Corbyn and his idea of Corbynomics. I thought I'd do a video today. We've got to look at the last part of aggregate demand. We've got to get AD finished off. So we're going to look to that net trade or the XM part. So I'm just going to do this video. Again, its influences on British trade, and then it's going to be a simple couple of worksheets. And then I'm going to spend most of the afternoon just marking off. I've got so much work that you lot have submitted me on Classroom, and I've obviously got the investment essays as well. So I'm just going to take that time to get marked off. Obviously, I will be around on email and on Classroom message if you need to contact me. But otherwise, have a watch of this vid. It's not going to be too long, not particularly complex, well, a little bit complex, but not that bad. Get that work done by 4:30, job done. Okay, so net trade, X minus M. So far we've looked at consumption, investment, government spending. Now we're going to do a bit of the old exports and imports. 3 questions. Why do countries trade with each other? Because they need to. I mean, I'm doing this in my year 2s at the moment. You've got to look at something like, thinking simply, Britain's climate. We can't grow tobacco. We can't grow oranges, pineapples, bananas because the weather isn't good enough. So we go to somewhere like Egypt, which produces loads of bananas, for example, or Turkey and the United States that have got the climate to produce tobacco for cigarettes, etc. Then we need to buy from them. Okay. So what items do you think the UK imports and why? Pretty much everything. Okay. I mean, I challenge you to look around your house today and find something that is British made. Your computer's assembled in China, your iPhone designed in California, assembled in China, made with pieces of metal that might have come out of like a Ugandan mine or a Zimbabwean mine, you know, for copper, stuff like that. Simply speaking, you'll find out more about this next year. We need to import because the last question, what do we export? We're good at 3 things, and we kind of said this before. Britain is a service sector economy. Our net trade, our exports, our X, are financial services. So we're talking about, you know, hedge funds. We're talking about loan products, insurance policies, anything you can think of kind of financially can be exported. And we're still in the EU. I mean, obviously we've got I'm looking at the date, another couple of months left. But there is nothing stopping a man or woman sitting in Italy, in the Puglia region or whatever, and they go, I want to get out of bank loans today. Go online, go to Barclays Bank UK and take in a bank loan. That is us exporting a financial service to them. All right. What else do we export? Weaponry. We are top dog at missiles, at guns, at tanks, at fighter jets, at jet engines, all that negative stuff. And then, yeah, what else are we good at? Medicines, pharmaceuticals. If you go from here towards Heathrow Airport, going around the A406, and to the left-hand side, you'll see like GlaxoSmithKline, just huge kind of big companies, and like that make paracetamol and cancer drugs and whatever else, but highly specialist, high-value stuff. Okay, and we'll think about that as we go through. All right, then. So what we need to think about is what influences the way that we trade. Okay, but the key appreciation that you've got to have in terms of the X minus M, we have a lot more of M, we have a lot more of imports than what we do of X. We don't export that much in terms of volume, in terms of amounts, okay? But what we do export is worth a lot. As I think I said last week, you know, we might import loads of ovens from Germany that cost a few £100 each, but we're going to be exporting a few missiles that might cost a couple of million each, okay? So it's volume and value, volume and value. Okay, so the first point to note then, to calculate AD, we are only concerned with the aggregate demand and the output generated within the country. So we take away the imports. I mean, in quite a lot of worksheets I've set you so far, it keeps on talking about kind of the circular flow of income. And we're not even going to do that yet. We don't do it this side of half term. We'll only see it once more and then it's half term. But just think about what pushes money into the British economy, what takes money away. Exports, we sell abroad. So we produce a financial service in Barclays Bank in London. We sell it to an Italian person. So there's money coming into the United Kingdom for that financial service, leaving the United Kingdom. When we import goods, we're spending money abroad. So if I buy a t-shirt that is made in Vietnam, for example, that's money flowing out of Britain into the Vietnamese economy. Okay, simple as that. So that's money leaving. That's a withdrawal from our economy. So that's why we're taking imports away. For AD, really, we care about the money pumping into the British economy. So we discount imports because that's money leaving. A couple of you last week were talking about this idea of if you go to, say, Supreme, all right, and I'm going to assume that Supreme's American. I could be wrong on this, but I'm going to go with this theory. If I'm wrong, don't laugh at me, all right? Obviously, that Supreme shop in the United Kingdom, people are saying, oh, but the Supreme shop's got to buy stuff from abroad and then they're going to sell it. But if that's the case, then surely when they're selling it here, that's kind of consumption, okay? We're not really worried about that kind of whether they're having to import or not. So don't overcomplicate. We're talking here about exports and imports that either leave the country or come into the country. That's all you need to recognize. Don't then overcomplicate about where they're being sold, etc. Is what I'm trying to say. All right, first things first, incomes then. So don't forget, we're thinking about what influences our patterns of trade. So what we would argue is that as we earn money, as Brits earn more cash, and we'll take about the UK economy as an example, as our real incomes go up, we will want to buy more things, okay? And if you think about the way the British economy is, say that coming back to last week, I get a pay rise. Well, I don't really want to buy any missiles, nor do I particularly need any kind of financial products at the moment, okay? And I feel quite well myself. I had a bit ill last week, so I don't need to buy vast amounts of paracetamols and Nurofens and ibuprofens and all that kind of stuff. And if that's our three key exports, if that's our three key things that we do, but maybe I want to buy a Nintendo Switch game because I'm obsessed with a Nintendo Switch. Maybe I want to buy some nice new clothes. Maybe I want to buy some good food, all right? I want to buy some French cheese, for example. Second bullet point, because I've got more money, there's going to be increased demand for imports because my marginal propensity to import is going to be high. Don't forget marginal propensity. When we get a pay rise, when our income goes up, how much of that pay rise do I spend? And if we've got the marginal propensity to consume is what we do in general, well, we can also talk about the marginal propensity to import. And as I've said, I've got no use for financial products at the moment. I don't need any guns or tanks or missiles. I don't need any paracetamol, any pharmaceuticals. So basically, if I consume 100% of my increase in income, my marginal propensity to import is also going to be 100% or 1 in decimals, okay? I'm going to consume all of that on imports, all right? So the general idea is that as we earn more money, we want nicer things, more luxurious things, whatever you want to say. And generally speaking, that means that we have to purchase imports, okay? So Britain is an importer in that respect. In terms of the exchange rate, well, we need to think about spiced and whoopie deck. We've already mentioned this. A strong currency will make UK exports less competitive, okay? Think about it, spiced, strong pound, imports cheaper, exports become more expensive. Because of our strong pound, that makes us an importer, doesn't it? Because if £1 is going to get me $1.30, then I've only got to pay £2 to get $2.60. £3 to get $3.90. So relatively speaking, me buying American things is relatively cheaper, okay, than an American buying from us who's got to spend $3.90 to get £3 worth of British stuff. So because of that, we're less competitive as a global trader, okay? Demand for our products may fall. A stronger currency makes imports more attractive and our marginal propensity to import will increase. And that net exports, that X minus M, the net exports is going to worsen. In terms of the whoopie deck, if the pound relatively is weakening itself off, weak pound imports become more expensive because I've now got to be spending more to buy that American candy or that French cheese or whatever. Did I just say American candy? I apologize. Sweets from America that are probably banned in Britain anyway. But exports become cheaper. So our exporters of missiles, of pharmaceuticals, of financial services, even like a one-man business who's I don't know, working up in Yorkshire making tables or whatever, if he's got an American client, for example, he can sell abroad. Okay, so yeah, we've got Spiced and we've got Whoopie Deck.